Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat, London, uh, on a beautiful Sunday morning here. Some of us, I think, have some delay with the time today because we've just gone forward an hour. So I think we'll be catching some more devotees as the time moves along today. But we are very happy to welcome you all again for our reading of Search of Sri Krishna, The Reality of the Beautiful by Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Śrīdhar Dev-Goswāmī Maharaj. And this week we'll be moving into the first chapter, Krishna Consciousness, Love and Beauty, after we had such a beautiful and inspiring introduction last week. Keshavananda Prabhu adding as he does, feeling and extra emphasis and drawing in understanding from various readings and things he's heard from Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, which is why it becomes all the more rich to hear the book read in his association. So first of all, we'll give our obeisances to our divine masters, Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Śrīdhar Dev-Goswāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Nantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. And to all the assembled devotees and still assembling devotees, Ki Jai. Pranam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari
Hari Bol.
And we pass the microphone over to our dear Keshavananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, we will have a break today at 10 a.m. just for 5 minutes. So mind the time because we will come back and start after 5 minutes. But just to give everyone and particularly the translators a break before we keep going.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Jai Guru Dev. Jai Gaura Hari. My Dandavat to TT devotees. Here we are again. And Om Jnana Timiran. Oh, Vande Hang Shri Guru Shiyata Parakamalam. Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha. Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam. Tang Sa Jivam. Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangscha Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Trishe Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So Dandavat to all the devotees. A happy morning when we get to hear the words of Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev. So we are conscious of the translating seva and those dedicated souls who are trying to do that seva. And I was thinking last week probably wasn't the best because I was just throwing stuff in the middle of a paragraph or the middle of a sentence. So I think this week I'll read each paragraph with no comment or question or anything. Read a paragraph and then ask any question, any comment, anything wanting to be said. And then we'll go to the next paragraph and read that completely. And I think that will make it a little easier, hopefully, for the translators. Okay. Okay, without further ado then, so we started last week with the introduction, the preface, the foreword, approaching nectar, which is full of nectar. So now we're actually going to begin the book. And then after each paragraph, if there's no question or comment, and we're always happy to have questions or comments or participation, Sankirtan, everybody together, Kirtan, then we'll carry on. We will press on with the book and try and maintain the flow as we can, because Guru Maharaj is presenting points systematically and, you know, in a beautiful thread. So if we can follow that, so much the better. And I'm feeling very unqualified to be sitting here where Srila Madhusudana Maharaj has been giving such wonderful talks on the Upadeshamrita, and my Devashish Prabhu has been speaking so nicely on Bhagavad Gita. But anyway, I'm just going to read the book, and Guru Maharaj's words and speak for themselves, and then we can try, if we have anything we want to look at further or in a different way or whatever it may be, or question, then we can do that. So the search for Sri Krishna reality, the beautiful Ki Jai.
Jai.
Let's press on.
Jai.
Okay, chapter 1. So we're just starting the book. Krishna consciousness, love and beauty. Ki Jai. At the beginning of the 20th century, the Bengali poet Hemachandra wrote, "There are so many countries rising in prominence, this land, that land. Japan is a very small country, but it is rising like the sun. Only India is under eternal slumber." When he mentioned the other part of the world, he said, "America is rising forcefully as if he is coming to swallow the whole world. Sometimes he is shouting as if with a war cry, and the whole world is shivering. His enthusiasm is so intense and great that he wants to snatch the world from the solar system and give it a new shape, a new molding." And this was written a long time ago. Oh, I'm not doing that. America has been mentioned in this way by Hemachandra. In the same way, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj came to give the world a new shape through Krishna consciousness. He once said, "We must go there and build it in a new way with Krishna consciousness." That was the first paragraph. What is Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness means real love and beauty. Real love and beauty must predominate, not selfishness or exploitation.
Recording in progress.
Generally, whenever we see beauty, we think that beauty is to be exploited. But actually, beauty is the exploiter, beauty is the master, and beauty is the controlling principle. And what is love? Love means sacrifice for others. We should not think that sacrifice is to be exploited by us. Who is the recipient of sacrifice? Is it our party? No. We are in the group of those who sacrifice themselves, the predominated negative party, Mahabhava's party. The underlying principle of love is sacrifice, but sacrifice for whom? And who is the beneficiary? love is the beneficiary. Everyone should contribute to the center, but no one should draw energy from the center. Die to live. With this spirit, we should combine and work for real love and beauty. Second paragraph of the book, we are Mahabharata's passing. Because Hare Krishna. Everyone good? You can put your hand up if, at any stage, but that's the opportunity in between the paragraphs. That's when we'll nip in if we have to.
Okay. Sure if it's too early to ask this question or not, but just for anyone that's not familiar with that expression, die to live.
We are
Just
going to come
say-
to that
okay.
in some detail, so we'll leave that for now. There's a whole little section called Die to Live, or something along those lines. So now we have a subheading, Banner of Love, the flag of love. And Guru Maharaj says, and beauty will be victorious in the world. Love will be victorious in the world. We will sacrifice everything to see that banner of divine love will flutter all over the world. For a particle of that divine love will be able to keep peace and distribute peace in all directions. Just as fighting soldiers dedicate everything and give their lives to their countrymen, so that their countrymen will benefit in the future, we should sacrifice our lives and work to bring real peace for everyone. In Vrindavan, the land of Krishna, the standard of sacrifice is unlimited. Devotees there are willing to risk everything for Krishna. If that principle of sacrifice is enthroned, then peace will automatically follow. Krishna consciousness should be enthroned above all other conceptions. All other conceptions are meant to be subservient to Krishna consciousness. The ideal of Vrindavan, Krishna's abode, is above all other ideals. In theistic comparison, the conception of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is above all other conceptions. There, theism reaches its zenith. That is our highest goal. And step by step, that should be explained, thought out, accepted, and preached. Ki Jai. We can just put a Jai in between each.
Yeah.
Or a Maha Jai, double Jai. Hare Krishna. Atomic death is the next subheading. Atomic death. So Guru Maharaj said, we've been talking about sacrifice, then he says, without this, what sort of benefit are you expecting from your present engagement? Only death is awaiting you. You are so proud of this scientific civilization and are boasting so much. But death is awaiting you, whether it is atomic death or natural death. You can't cross death. One English poet has written, the boast of heraldry, the pomp of power, and all that beauty or the wealth e'er gave awaits alike the inevitable hour. The paths of glory lead but to the grave. Thomas Gray's Elegy in a Country Churchyard. It's contemplating down the churchyard. You do not care to solve the greatest danger. You say that you are big thinkers, that you are great men, and that you should command the respect of society. But the general inevitable problem for every atom here is death. What is your contribution for solving the greatest danger, which is waiting to devour everyone? Scientist, insect, or virus? What is your solution to death? Have you taken any steps to solve that universal danger? What you are doing at present is exploitation, and you are encouraging a lower life as a reaction. You are exploiting nature, and everyone who is deriving the benefits will have to pay to the farthing with interest. Farthing was the smallest coin previously, with interest. Then Guru Maharaj quotes, "For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction." This is your statement, but what have you done to solve that? You are endangering the fate of the world by your fascinating proposals of apparent comfort. What is this? You are avoiding the greatest inevitable danger, so your life is a useless malengagement. In one sense, you are traitors to society. Come with courage to face and solve the real problem, the common problem, and the most dangerous problem. Otherwise, you should leave the field and go away. Leave it to us. We shall prove that the world is an abode of perfect happiness. Vishwang Purna Shukhayate. Bene?
Tutto bene. A question has come up a little bit, but it's referring to a little bit of an earlier section.
Okay.
Sevarupa Didi says, Dandava Pranam, dear Keshavananda Prabhu and all dear devotees. Please, can you explain what is meant by India is under slumber?
Well,
Did they hear the question?
yes, we had a
It's on-
question. Yes? We had a question from the Sevarupa Didi about what Guru Maharaj was meaning of talking about India being in under eternal slumber. And to be quite honest, I don't know exactly what he means there. But at least externally, you know, this was made in the 80s, so it's a long time ago. And he's talking about these Western nations, particularly America, and at that time Japan, and now things, you know, the ebb and flow of the material dogfight is going on, and very forcefully pushing their vision of the world and how it should be, and their conception and their understanding, pushing out, and their technology and their race for, you know, all the progress, all these things, which Guru Maharaj says is just treacherous. It's just digging a bigger hole for yourself. Whereas India, certainly then, was not so much a participant to that. Was more, say, slumber. But now India too has joined that great cacophony, loud, it's going in the way of the Western world. The whole world cannot really be escaped now, or in this suicidal exploitation. So that's really all I can say. And that may or may not be what he actually meant, but my understanding anyway.
Yep, she's happy.
Hare Krishna. So we got to dive deep into reality. Next section. Mara said, we shall prove that the world is an abode of perfect happiness. But to understand this, you will have to dive deep, not into the plane of body and mind, but into the plane of soul. You will have to dive deep in the reality that is within us. It's not a foreign thing to be acquired by loan, but the soul is within everyone, even the insects and trees. So we have to rise to the plane of soul. Eliminate both your physical and mental encasements, eliminate those, and find out your own self. There you will find the key, the clue to the proper life, to the proper world, where life is worth living. The solution is there. A hint is given by many Mahajans, the great saints in every religious sect to some extent. But our claim is that India has given the highest conception of the spiritual world in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So we challenge all of you. We are not imaginationists. We are most practical thinkers. We don't avoid any great problem by saying, oh, it can't be solved. We do not belong to the party that wants to easily take prestige and fame. We don't want to classify ourselves with those hoaxing people. Come and see whether the plane of reality can be found. You are not required to spend any less energy in your campaign. So take our program, try it and see. You're going to be working away either way. Do something useful and wonderful. Hare Krishna. Where are you? Who are you? What is the real nature of the world? In the Quran, in the Bible, and in the Vedas, and in every other scripture, a hope and a hint has been given about the life of reality. Is this all a hoax? What charm have the materialists given? That charm is only for the self-deceivers, and that is dragging them into the country of loan and debt, the land where every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So, a divine civilization should be drawn out into this plane. We have to try the path that has been suggested by the great saints and scriptures. It's not unreasonable. It's not madness. Come, reason can also be applied there. Not a fantasy. Very scientific, very reasonable. Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a solution to all our problems with an allegorical example. He said, we see that you are poor, but there's a happy solution. Your wealth is underground in your own room. Just try and unearth it. But don't approach it from the southern side, the give and take method of karma. For then whatever you do will bring some reaction that will capture and disturb you, and you will have no time to reach the proper solution. If you approach that hidden wealth from the Western side through the yoga system, by manipulating the subtle forces of nature to attain supernatural mystic power, that will enchant you and take your attention away from the desired goal. Your own activity in the wrong direction will create obstacles to your achievement. A samadhi phantom. If you approach the treasure from the north, the side of that grand Brahmasmi, the impersonal conception, with the help of misinterpreted Vedic logic, then you will enter into eternal samadhi. That great phantom will swallow you up. Your existence will be nowhere, and who will come to enjoy the peace of getting the wealth? Only if you approach from the eastern side, with the help of devotion, will you get the wealth easily. That is the direction of the sunrise, the light, light-giving direction. And that light is not prepared by our own hand. That light is from the source of all light, the revealed truth. And it is extended from the quarter, which is unknown to us. That light is revealed knowledge, bhakti, the path of devotion. So this is an allegory that Guru Maharaj is presenting. Don't go that way, won't end well. Don't go that way. Come through this self-manifesting path of devotion. So adopt that path in your search for the real wealth. So adopt that path in your search for the real wealth within you. And easily you will find your own self, which is most wonderful. Ascharvat pashyati kaschidena. Discovering that your own self is so wonderful, you will be ashamed, thinking, how could I have been carried away by the charm of this mundane world? I am the soul. How was it possible for Maya to have such enchanting power over me that my own self, which is so wonderful and so valuable, was drawn into illusion? The peace which is within me has been greatly admired by the spiritual stalwarts, but I have come in connection with mortal and nasty, rotten things. How? It is most wonderful, but I was deceived. It is most wonderful, but I was deceived. Then, from Atma, the self, to Paramatma, from soul to super soul, then from Vasudeva to Narayan, and then from Narayan to Krishna. The progressive understanding in God realization is not unscientific. It is really scientific. This is Vijnana, scientific knowledge. Jnanam teham sa vijnanam idam vaksham yasheta sataha yajgyatvanea bhuyo nyaj yattavyam avishishyate, from the 7th canto of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Arjuna, now I will explain to you scientific knowledge, not only about the soul, but about its potency. The mind, the senses, and the modes of nature are all non-atma, material. There is a direct and indirect approach towards reality, which I shall now explain to you. Please listen attentively to me. Jnanam te hamsa vijnanam. What is this? So then Krishna's talking about himself. There is myself and my potency. And the jiva, the living entity, is the marginal potency which is filling up all these material worlds. If the jiva shakti, the spiritual potency, were withdrawn, then everything would be stone. And who would care for exploitation? All this fighting tendency, this tendency for exploitation would stop if the marginal potency, the jiva, were withdrawn from matter. Everything would be dead. The soul has entered into this material consciousness and has made it a moving thing. You should understand this properly in a scientific way. We are not lacking in our ability to give you a scientific explanation. Tutto bene?
Tutto bene.
Plane of self-deception. A higher conception of the finer world is here. It is real. And where you are trying your utmost to make a stand, the place that you consider real is unreal. Yanisha Sava Bhutanam, Tasyam Jagati Shangami, Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani, Sanisha Pashito Mune. Second chapter. Guru Maharaj is explaining that. You are asleep to your real self-interest and the real truth, while you are awake in the plane of self-deception. We must establish ourselves in the plane of reality and try our best to extend it to others. To preach means this: I sincerely have faith in Krishna consciousness and relish it to the utmost. I find that my future prospect is also here because I feel that it is very tasteful, useful, and wholesome. Because I feel that it is very tasteful, useful, and wholesome, I have come to distribute it to you, my friends. We should guide our lives according to the principles of Krishna consciousness as taught by the spiritual master. Take it and you will be successful in fulfilling the goal of your life. Jai Guru Angad Maharaj. Take, you will be successful.
And Kate. So there's a question
About the symbolic. Go on.
from Sevarupa Didi again. Jai, please help me to understand what is meant by the different directions that Srila Maharaj is referring to. It's not the physical directions. Is it symbolic? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All these brilliant questions that I don't know the answer to. All I really know there is Guru Maharaj gives I know there are, but I don't know them. North and west and south like that. All I know is that Guru Maharaj said, but the east, the light-giving direction where the sun of its own volition, the sun is following the volition of Krishna, but it is rising and distributing that light, not within our hands, he is coming. So I'm sorry, that is a homework question though, because I think there is an answer to that, but I don't have it with me at the moment.
It's just also such a lovely way to approach, because sometimes we can get concerned about how to present Krishna consciousness to the public, right? At least you can think like how do we present it? What should be our strategy?
Right.
Here, Srila Guru Maharaj is very simply saying, like, this is just so wonderful. It's helping us, and I want to share it with you. It's just a very sweet approach that can be informative.
Like
Yes.
you said recently, you were sharing that Guru Maharaj said in answer to, oh no, it was Srila Prabhupada in answer to how should we preach, and he said, just talk about how beautiful the Lord is.
Mhm.
You know, that he's so incredibly beautiful, and those that are charmed by that will come forward. Yeah, it's very, very simple.
Mm. Jai. Okay, we're eager to get on because the next section is called Rasa, Happiness and Ecstasy. In this way, we have to approach everyone with God consciousness, Krishna consciousness. We must show how God consciousness ultimately merges in Krishna consciousness. We have to prove dexterously, step by step, that Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. Akila Rasamrita Murti. What is Krishna consciousness? Rupa Goswami has given a scientific definition. Rasa, pleasure, cannot be avoided. We are all after rasa. Everyone, every unit, even the smallest unit of the world, is always hankering after rasa, happiness, ecstasy, and all possible phases of rasa are personified in Krishna. Try to understand how it is. What is rasa? What is its nature? How can a comparison in rasa be drawn? In this way, step by step, you will have to come to the Krishna conception of Godhead. It is not a tale from the ancient Indian scriptures. Krishna is not the object of a tale, but fact. You have to come out and face that living fact, that reality. We shall try to show, we shall try our best to show you how it can be a fact. Krishna is a fact. He is reality. And reality is for itself. You have to pay for the goal. You must die to live. And in this way, you will feel that it is not a hoax. When you progress on the path, you will feel it. Bhakti parashanu nubhavo virakti anyachacha. With every step forward, you will feel these three things: satisfaction, nourishment, and the eradication of your hunger. Your hankering in general will be diminished. Generally, we feel, I want this, I want that, I want everything, but still I am not satisfied by my hunger. Still, I have not satisfied my hunger. But you will feel that your hunger is being appeased as you progress in Krishna consciousness. And what you previously thought would give you relief will take leave from you automatically. Their trade won't continue. They will all withdraw. Your natural inclination for spiritual advancement will automatically increase, and you will find acceleration in your progress. You will practically feel these three things. So come and take what we say. In this way, you have to approach one and all, leaving the results to the Lord. We're built for sharing. And the easiest thing to share is what motivates and what enthuses and what excites us and what has touched us and what grabs us. Why did we come? What was it? So, and in that living spirit, we can easily share according to our capacity, but all can do. And that capacity will grow and grow and grow. Fruits of energy. Because the last sentence was, in this way you will have to approach one and all, and leaving the result to the Lord. Fruits of energy. We are only agents, and we are working because he has ordered us to. So we must remember, what is bhakti? What is devotion proper? Whatever I do, the wage I earn must not come to me. I am only an agent. The benefit should go to the proprietor, to my master, Krishna. We should move with this idea, and that will be bhakti proper. Otherwise, I will be engaged in karma kanda, fruit hunting. I want to enjoy the result of karma for myself, but the result should go to my master. I am his servant, and I am working under his order. I am his slave. I am not the proprietor. I am not the proper person to be the recipient of the fruits of energy. The master of energy is the Supreme Lord, and all the products of energy should go to him. It must not be tampered with on the way. This should be the attitude of every worker. Then it will be bhakti proper. We are not the recipients. He is the recipient. We must always be conscious that the only beneficiary is he. Only then are we devotees. We are not the beneficiaries, but selfless workers. In the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter again, Kamanyeva dikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetovo ma tisango svakarmani. Krishna says, you have the right to perform your duty, but you have no right to enjoy the fruits of your work. This is a great warning. Krishna says, do not think that because you are not the beneficiary of the fruits of your action, you have no reason to take so much trouble to work. Never. That is the most heinous curse, to think that because I'm not the beneficiary, I'm not going to work. Even selfless activity is also of a lower order. Rather, we must perform godly activity for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. That is bhakti, or devotion. And there is also a gradation in bhakti. There's a big division between vidhi bhakti and raga bhakti, calculative devotion and spontaneous devotion. Doing good? I'm looking, I can see. Oh, so many wonderful devotions. Hare Krishna. My tongue about to everyone. All right, we'll carry on. Carry on. Guru Maharaj is in full flow. Autocrat, despot, and liar. Hare Krishna. God is not a constitutional king, but he is an autocrat. To work for an autocrat is the highest conception of sacrifice. What degree of selflessness and courage is required to work for an autocrat, a despot, a liar who is up to anything? Not only that, his normal position is such. It's not a temporary temperament, but his eternal inner nature. Krishna is an autocrat because law emanates from him. An autocrat is above law. When there are many, there is a need for law. When there's only one, there is no need for law. Krishna is a despot, but he is absolute good. If there is any check in his despotism, the world will be the loser. Goodness must have its full flow. Is that bad? Can there be any objection to this? Goodness must have its freedom to flow anywhere and everywhere. If we say that God is absolute good, then what do we lose by giving him autocracy? Should autocracy be with the ignorant and the fools? No. The absolute good must have full autocracy. Not that law will go to bind his hands. Then we will be losers. And Krishna is a liar to entice us because we cannot understand the whole truth. So to entice us to gradually come to the truth, he has become a liar. The first thing to understand is that he's all goodness. So everything emanating from him cannot but be good. Any defect is on our side. We are encroachers. He's not an encroacher, but he shows this as his play, Leela. Everything belongs to him, so there's no lying. When he says, let there be light, there was light. Let there be water, there was water. If he has such potential power, can there be any lying there? We have to sacrifice ourselves for Krishna because he is the absolute good, beauty, and love. Faith and selflessness are required to such a high degree. If we accept Krishna consciousness as our highest ideal, then so much sacrifice is necessary. But sacrifice means life. Die to live. There's no loss by sacrifice. You can only gain. We can only gain by giving ourselves. So kirtan, or preaching, has been accepted as the means to the end. There are so many ways by which we can approach the souls of this world with kirtan, by direct approach, through books, by performing sankirtan, chanting the holy name congregationally. By helping others, we help ourselves. We help our own fortune and our own faith. Wonderful. By helping others, we help ourselves. We help our own fortune and our own faith. Not only will others benefit by our performance of kirtan, but we will also benefit eternally. Expanding the meaning of kirtan to cover all the aspects of that wave of divine wonder. Eternal vacuum. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter again, never be attached to not doing your duty. Mate sangostva karmani. Because you are required to work for me, will you stop work? Don't subject yourself to that painful reaction, for then you will be doomed. Don't be attached to stop work and strike. No, that is a dangerous vacuum. Don't jump there in that eternal vacuum, but work for me and you will thrive. Krishna says, abandon all varieties of duty and just surrender to me. Sarvadharma paritagya mame charanam braja. My position is such. I am your guardian, your friend, your everything. Your goal of life is to be found in me. Believe it, Arjuna. At least I must not deceive you. You're my friend. You can take it for certain. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mamai vaishasya satyante pratijani priyosime. 18th chapter. Instruction. Think of me always and become my devotee. Worship me, bow down before me. In this way you will certainly come to me. My dear friend, I promise you on oath, I am speaking the truth. Honestly, promise. This is Krishna talking to Arjuna. My dear friend, I promise you on oath, I'm speaking the truth. I am everything. Try to come to me. I am the goal, the fulfillment of life, not only for you, but for everyone. From the absolute consideration, my position is such. At least you are my friend. I won't deceive you. You can believe me. I promise that I am so. Promising. And Guru Maharaj says how shamelessly Krishna is expressing himself here. He has come to plead for himself so much for our benefit. And a record is kept in the Bhagavad Gita for our guidance. And Lord Krishna came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to preach about himself. He came as his own canvasser with his eternal associates. He even brought Srimati Radharani, devotion personified along with him, saying, I will show how charming your position in my service is, how beautiful and dignified the devotion of my other half can be. So, come along with me. And Baladev has come as Nityananda to canvas, and Vrindavan has come to canvas itself in Navadip. So we are most indebted to the canvasser, especially when Krishna himself has come to canvas, and to show how beautiful, how magnanimous, and how sacrificing divine love is. Hare Krishna.
Amen.
I'm lost for words, really, every time. The best book ever, as they all are. Hare Krishna. So this is perfect because I was hoping we could do 2 chapters today, and I think we can if everybody's up for it. Because if we can, it'll just keep us moving a bit. So we're almost at our break time, so we'll have our break. Well, first we'll see if anybody's got.
Have you got a question?
Yeah.
Okay, super.
We have a question.
This is Tiger.
Hey, Tiger.
We met him in the Harinam yesterday.
Oh, and also at Green Street.
You've been to Green Street.
Yeah.
Harinam Sankirtan.
Prabhu.
Devotees
An
are coming.
enthusiastic.
So what was the name?
Ish.
Kesh.
Yeah.
That's good. So my question was, Sri Krishna says, abandon all varieties of duty.
Right.
When he says that, does he really mean that? Like,
Yes, but he's meaning it doesn't mean that we just sit there and don't do it.
no, like service for Krishna, of course.
Uh-huh.
But like all variety, like even the, what's it called? Svadharma?
Everything.
Everything.
Everything. We're working for him. And he is, as we were just hearing, autocrat, despot, liar, and can do what he wants. He's mischievous, he's playful, and he's not bound by any law.
Right.
And Guru Maharaj said, he is one and he is all good. So no check can be given to that. We would lose out in that case. He's flowing free. But when there's many, then you need a law. Then you need some law. So we have our laws. The devotees of Krishna are only concerned with his satisfaction. And of course, how do we know that? We don't know that, because we're always going through his devotee, the Vaishnavas, the Mahajans, the Sadhu. So moving under their direction, then we will
Okay.
do our seva, do our duty with him as the ultimate. But yeah, it's shocking. And when we read, we're also reading Amnaya Tattva of Srila Govinda Maharaj, and he says the same thing. He says, it's so revolutionary that I was surprised, he said, when he came to the lotus feet of Srila Guru Maharaj, and he's hearing Guru Maharaj say these things, we're bowing down to all the different, to so many, to the Shastra, to so many things. But ultimate Krishna is a big Yasvara, he's independent, and he's alive. You can't trap him, you can't put him in a box, right? Even if that box is your holy book, right? It's coming through the sadhus, and they are the living Shastra, and they can help us see the holy book in the appropriate living way, not some fossilized thing. Well, if you're not feeling it. So it's very wonderful, and it is shocking. It's revolutionary. It is. Bhagavad Gita is. He says, give it all up. It's brought up in a family, and we do this and we do that, so many things, and they're good for you. It's yeah, no doubt. Surrender to me. Don't worry about any reaction.
But I thought Prabhupada and my guru, he said, first of all, don't become a source of anxiety for other people, like my parents.
Yeah.
And second, he said something about you still have to do your like material dharma.
Mm-hmm. No, those are both absolute points. It doesn't mean we turn into little anarchists running around punching people.
No,
like
no.
We will have our duties, no doubt, that we have to perform, and we have and we don't want to cause there's some we don't want to cause disturbance to a certain degree.
Okay.
Theologically, we're there to cause disturbance, really, but we want to present this.
Yeah.
But then we heard today in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, that when Mahaprabhu was first in Varanasi, Kashi, which is the seat then and now of the Mayavadi section, the impersonalist section, he didn't have anything to do with them. He didn't go, he just kept away. And Srila Prabhupada in his purpose is saying, and I advise you to do the same thing. You're not going to win any arguments. They probably know 10 times more shlokas than what you do, and you will end up confused, bemused, and you won't come out of it well. But for the gentle, for the innocent, then we don't mind causing some disturbance in there, kind of cobbled together. And most people, that was the same, cobbled together the idea of what reality is. We read a book, we saw a movie, we've come to some sort of, well, I think it's all just energy and whatever it is. But when you read when you hear and see the qualities of the Vaishnavas, they are, like Srila Prabhupada, the perfect gentleman, right? Perfect gentleman, kind, considerate, gentle, loving. That's the symptom of a Vaishnava, and that Vaishnava may be in a different position in their life. So they may, Mahaprabhu said, I'm not actually a grihastha or a sannyasi or a brahmachari or a vanaprastha. I'm the servant of the Lord's servant. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Kuriye tako vani tako sadhari boleda. It doesn't matter whether you're in your house, in the forest, that's no bar at all. If you're living in the forest, you've got duties to perform, to carry the water, and you've got to do something. And if you're in like Bhaktivinoda Thakur with the 11 children and a responsible job, as a magistrate and the superintendent of the Jagannath temple, then there's so many things you have to do, and that's okay. Who we're doing them for, and what is that energy that we're collecting, and that what we are doing, who's that for? It's for Krishna. So, Prabhupada used to say there's only two injunctions, really. Always remember Krishna and don't forget Krishna. Right?
Okay.
That's the thing. And what we may be engaged in externally, that's going to change. This world is full of variegatedness, but we're not prevented from becoming a devotee by anything external at all. We are the culprit, as we heard quite much say. So adjust yourself. That's the advice that's coming to us from the Vaishnavas. Adjust yourself, gain the proper angle of vision, and then everything will be harmonized, and we will see that we are living in Vishva Purnam Shukhayate. We're surrounded by joy and sweetness, and every wave of reality that's coming to us is sweet and beautiful, and is coming from the hands of our affectionate Lord. That's where the Vaishnavas live. Ki Jai. So,
Thank you.
no, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for we're so fortunate to be here. We're so fortunate to be reading this book. We're so fortunate when devotees have questions, because it gives us an opportunity we might not always have the answer at hand, and I may not anyway, but it gives us a chance to churn that ocean a little bit and see what wonderful things come out. So it's 5 past, unless we're in India when it's 35 minutes past, because it's India. And Nepal has got another quarter of an hour as well. It's even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to have a 5-minute break to do our thing. And then we're going to do another chapter, Ki Jai,
Right.
and move forward through this book while we've got some momentum when we're feeling eager. This is wonderful. Okay, 5 minutes. Ki Jai.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Well, we're all sitting here saying, has it been 5 minutes? Yeah. And there's still people off doing their duties. But I'm ready to go. I'm feeling excited now. I was just talking with Kelly. How can you not be excited? How can you not be excited hearing these words of Srila Śrīdhar Maharaj? Hare Krishna. Okay, I'm going to begin. Not going to wait for everyone. So we're going to move to chapter 2, which is called Saints, Scriptures, and Gurus. And it begins with a little introduction. The purpose of pilgrimage is to hear from the saintly persons residing in a holy place. The following is a conversation with Srila Śrīdhar Maharaj and 3 European students searching India for truth. Śrīdhar Maharaj, why have you come to India? Student, for pilgrimage, we have come to visit the holy places like Navadip, Vrindavan, and Jagannath Puri. That was the main reason we came to India. Śrīdhar Maharaj, how have you come to know all these things? By books? Student, yes, by the books of Srila Prabhupada. Śrīdhar Maharaj, what book? Student, Bhagavad Gita. Śrīdhar Maharaj, oh, the Bhagavad Gita as it is by Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. Student, yes. And then the subtitle, Bhagavad Gita, Cure Thyself. Śrīdhar Maharaj says, many years ago, a German scholar expressed his opinion that Bhagavad Gita is the highest spiritual literature. His point was that Bhagavad Gita clearly advises us not to correct our environment, but to correct ourselves, to adjust with the environment. That is the key to the advice of Bhagavad Gita. Cure thyself. We have no power to bring about changes in the environment. That is arranged by the divine will. Our environment, the sum total of all the forces acting outside us, is irremovable. We have, excuse me, we have no ability to interfere with our environment. That will only be a useless loss of energy. Rather, we must try to correct ourselves so that we can adjust with the circumstances outside us. This is the key to our success in life. We have our duty to perform, but we must not aspire after the results of our activities. The results depend on Krishna. We make our contribution. At the same time, thousands of millions of others are contributing, creating the environment. So we must do our duty. But we will have to accept the ultimate result as best, because it is arranged by the Absolute. There are so many results to our individual activities, but we must see how the Absolute will harmonize everything and adjust ourselves accordingly. Our responsibility lies only in discharging our duty. We must never aspire after any definite environment. The environment will go on in its own way. We have no power to change it. Rather, we must try our best to change our own self, that we may come in harmony with the environment. Our responsibility is never in enjoying the results of our actions. Because we work for a particular result and don't obtain it, should we be discouraged? No. We should go on doing our own duty. Whatever we contribute should be offered to the infinite, and the infinite will mold the results in his own way. Krishna says, never aspire after any particular result for your action. At the same time, don't be idle, don't be worthless. Go on discharging your duty without depending on any outside consequence. Student, will we have to remember Krishna while we're doing this? Krishna, Srila says, yes. Yes. Then we will be able to come in connection with Krishna, and gradually we will come to realize that our environment is friendly to us. When the reactions of our previous actions disappear, we will find that every wave is carrying good news to us. When our egoistic attitude vanishes, we will find ourselves in the midst of sweet waves all around. We should try to do away with whatever wrong we have done hitherto. We must do our duty and never expect any definite result, but cast it towards the infinite. Offer it and cast it. Dissolving ego, next section. And then one day will come when our egoistic feeling will dissolve, and from within, our real self, a member of the infinite world, will spring up and awaken, and we will find ourselves in the sweet waves of that environment. There, everything is sweet. The breeze is sweet. The water is sweet. The trees are sweet. Whatever we come in contact with is sweet, sweet, sweet. Our internal ego is our enemy. And to dissolve that ego, we must do our duty as we think fit, but never expect any response according to our will. If we adopt this karma yoga, then in no time, we will find that the wrong ego, which was always expecting something crooked for its selfish purpose, has vanished. The broad, wide ego within has come out, and we are in harmony with the whole universe. The harmonious world will appear before us, and the cover of selfish desires will disappear. The cause of our disease is not outside us, but within us. A Paramahamsa Vaishnava, a saint of the highest platform, sees that everything is all right. He finds nothing to complain about. When one can see that everything is good and sweet to the furthest extreme, he comes to live in the plane of divinity. Our false ego creates only disturbance. That ego should be dissolved. We should not think that the environment is our enemy. We must try hard to detect God's grace in whatever comes to us, even if it comes as an apparent enemy. Everything is the grace of the Lord, but we can't see it. Rather, we see the opposite. The dirt is in our eyes. Actually, everything is divine. It is all the grace of the Lord. The disease is in our eyes. We are diseased. And if the disease is cured, we shall find that we are in the midst of a gracious world. Only the coverings of desire deceive us from having a real estimation of the world. A bona fide student of the devotional school will accept such an attitude towards the environment and towards the Lord. We have to think that God's will is everywhere. Even a blade of grass cannot move without the sanction of the supreme authority. Every detail is detected and controlled by Him. We have to look upon the environment with optimism. The pessimism is within us. Our ego is responsible for all sorts of evil. Infinite blissfulness. This is Vaishnavism. If we can do this, can see like Maharaj has been saying, if we can do this, then in no time our disease will be cured and we'll be in the midst of infinite blissfulness. Our tendency at present is to cure what we see on the outside. We think, I want everything to follow my control, my sweet will. When everything obeys me, then I will be happy. But we must just take the opposite attitude. As Mahaprabhu has said, Srinad api sunichena taro visharishnana amanina manadena kirtaniya sada hari. We should create no resistance against our environment. Still, if some undesirable things come toward us, we should tolerate that with our utmost patience. And even if someone attacks us, we won't become violent. We must practice forbearance to the extreme. We shall honor everyone. We will seek no honor. In this way, with the least amount of energy and time, we can attain the highest goal, the plane where Krishna himself is living. That is the most fundamental plane of existence. At that time, all the encasements covering the soul will vanish and die, and the inner soul will awaken and find that he is playing in a sweet wave, dancing and merrymaking in Vrindavan with Krishna and his devotees. And what is Vrindavan? It's neither a fable nor a concocted story. The broadest and widest plane of the whole universe is beauty, sweetness, and blissfulness. And that is present in Vrindavan in all its fullness. We have to dive deep into that plane of reality. Our ego has floated us on the surface of trouble in Maya, illusion, concoction, and the search for selfish satisfaction have taken us here. And these must be dissolved. once and for all. And then from within, our golden selves will come out. And we will find that we are in the plane of a happy dancing mood with Krishna in Vrindavan. Tutto bene?
Does anyone
Everyone
have
good?
any questions?
Huh?
Does anyone have any questions? That was a good time.
Okay, we'll carry on. Hegel's self-determination.
Well, that's a small question. So is it saying that Vrindavan is also a state of being?
Yes, yes. State of Guru Maharaj would often say everything is existing in consciousness. So it's not in the conscious world, it's all we have. So it's all dead otherwise. We can't say anything about it. It's only comes to us through our senses. And we perceive it. And he said, when the jiva's not there, it's just dead. It's the living entity that brings it all alive and makes it move. And the same with Vrindavan, that it's that land of dedication and love and sweetness where every unit is affectionately serving the center, serving the Lord. So yeah, the highest, most wonderful and fundamental. That was the word he used, fundamental. So you could say the highest, but you could also say the deepest or the most encompassing. You know, there's various ways.
Most true.
Yeah, the most true reality.
Reality.
There's the subtitle of the book, The Search for Sri Krishna, Reality, the Beautiful.
Okay.
Because that. So what are the what is the distinction? What is reality? That's what it is. It's full of sweetness and beauty and ecstasy and love and charm. Those things.
I just felt like a weight lift off my shoulder.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Reality. Great.
it's wonderful.
Found it. Kind of. Almost. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
So we're going to now. Guru Maharaj is going to talk. Well, he didn't put this subtitle in, but it's there. Hegel's self-determination, which I never really understood, but I think I understand it a little bit more now. Everybody knows what self-determination. I think it was just me. Anyway, I looked it up, right, and it's quite easy to understand. So I'll just give a short preface to this, just because it gives us some understanding, because it did confuse me for a long time. I wasn't quite sure what it meant. So this is just from the internet. For Hegel, self-determination is the process by which a subject, like thought, consciousness of the will, becomes truly free and autonomous by generating its own content, rather than being determined by external forces or nature. In other words, he's saying our lives should be determined by our actual selves, the jiva, not by all these. So it's self-determination. It's coming from a plane of the self and going forward from that plane, not from a concoction of from a misconception. Anyway, just something. Well, we'll carry on with Guru Maharaj. Hegel's self-determination. In Hegelian language, this is called self-determination. Self-determination means we must die to live. Guru Maharaj just goes straight to it. Self-determination means we must die to live. We must leave our material life and all our material habits. We have to die as if we are, to die as we are, if we want to have a real life. We have to die as we are if we want to have a real life. We must give up our false ego. Our material habits from different births are collected in the ego in subtle forms, not only from the experience of human birth, but even from animal birth, tree birth, and so many other births. Krishna consciousness means the wholesale dissolution of the false ego. that concocted, selfish figure within us is our enemy. The real self is hopelessly buried beneath the false ego. So great is the depth of our forgetfulness that we don't even know who we are. So, as the German philosopher Hegel said, we have to die to live. Reality is by itself, is for itself, and by itself. The world is not created for our selfish end. It has a universal end, and we are part and parcel of that. We must come to an understanding with the whole. The complete whole is Krishna, and he is dancing, playing, and singing in his own way. We must enter into that harmonious dance. Being infinitesimal, should we think that the infinite must be controlled by us? that by our whim everything will go on? This is the most crooked, heinous object ever conceived, and we are suffering from such a disease. This is the real problem in society. Our inquiry should be aimed at solving this. So remember, he's talking with the students. So Maharaj has been speaking for some time now. And then the student asks, does this mean we have to give up material life completely? Śrīla Maharaj says, not at once. Everyone must make progress gradually according to his own particular case. If one who has much affinity towards worldly life suddenly leaves that, he may not keep up his vows. He may go down again. So according to personal capacity, we must make gradual progress. That is to be taken into consideration. But still, we should always be eager to give up everything and devote ourselves exclusively to the highest duty. Those who have enough courage will jump into the unknown, thinking, Krishna will protect me. I am jumping in the name of God. He is everywhere. He will take me on his lap. With this idea, one who has real eagerness for the truth may leap forward. Then another question from a student. I have a problem. For 10 years, I've tried to take up this process. For 10 years, I've kept from eating meat, fish, and eggs. I avoid material things. I have no attraction for them. I have left all this behind. But there's one thing I want to give up, and also I don't want to give up. This is ganja, marijuana. That is a small thing. There are three real difficulties. The first is women, the second is money, and the third, good name and fame. These three are our enemies. Marijuana intoxication is a small thing. Anyone can give it up easily. But these three things are the fundamental aspiration of every animal, tree, bird, man, or God. These three are everywhere. But intoxication and other fleeting habits are very negligible things and can be conquered very easily. As we have gradually come into the habit of intoxication, we have to come out gradually, not suddenly. Just after World War II, we read in the newspaper that Goering, Hitler's air general, was habituated to taking much intoxication. But when he was put into jail, no intoxication was supplied to him. He became sick, but treatment went on and he was cured. His disease was cured by the medicine. We have also seen so many opium eaters who came here, joined the temple, and gradually left their habit. Many so-called sadhus smoke marijuana. It helps concentration, but that is the material mind. It disturbs faith. It is an enemy to faith. No material intoxication, but only faith can take us to our desired goal. The misguided souls think that marijuana, hashish, and so many other things can help us in our meditation. It may do something, but it's mundane, and that will frustrate us in our time of need. These things cannot help us rise up very high. Next little section, sex, dope, and gold. Srimad Bhagavatam says, advises that these 5 things should be rejected. Jutam, gambling or diplomacy. Pana, intoxication, including tea, coffee, betel, and everything else. Striha, unlawful, illegal woman love or man love. Shuna, butchering and the transaction of gold. Trading gold makes one very apathetic toward progress in the line of faith. These 5 are very tempting. What to speak of the mania that intoxication will help us in our meditation upon the transcendental? Devarishi Narad says, Yama Divya Yoga Pate Karma Loga Hatomue. Even what we acquire by meditation is temporary and has no permanent effect. Only real faith in the line of pure devotion can help us. Saints living scriptures. Student, so how can we develop our faith in Krishna consciousness? Shida Maharaj, how have you come to conceive of Krishna consciousness? Student, by reading Bhagavad Gita. Shida Maharaj, Bhagavad Gita from the scriptures. And the scriptures are written by whom? Some saint. So the association of saints and the advice of scriptures are both necessary. The saint is the living scripture, and the scripture advises us in a passive way. A saint can actively approach us, and passively we may receive benefit from the scriptures. The association of the scriptures and the saints can help us achieve the ultimate realization. Sadhu Shastra Kripaya Hai. The saints are more powerful. Those who are living the life of the scriptural advice are scripture personified. In their association and by their grace, we can imbibe such higher, subtle knowledge and faith. All our experiences are futile in the attempt to attain the ultimate destination. Only faith can lead us there. The spiritual world is far, far beyond the jurisdiction of our limited visual, aural, and mental experience. The experience of the eye, ear, and mind is very meager and limited, but faith can rise us up and pierce through this area and enter the transcendental realm. Faith should be developed with the help of scriptures and saints. They will help us understand that the spiritual world is real and this world is unreal. At that time, this material world will be night to us, and that will be day. Presently, the eternal world is darkness to us, and we are awake in this mortal world. What is night to one is day to another. A saint is awake in some matter, and a dacoit, a thief, is working in another plane. They're living in 2 separate worlds. A scientist is living in one world. A rowdy is living in another. One's day is night to another. The ordinary persons cannot see what Einstein and Newton have seen, and what the ordinary man sees is ignored by a great man. So we have to awaken our interest in that plane and ignore the interests of this plane. World War III, let it be, let it be.
Let it be.
Student, many people are worried about nuclear war. They think it may come very soon. This was written in the 80s, now it's 2026, same old story in the material world. They think it may come very soon. Shoulda, March. That is a point on a line on a plane in a solid. So many times wars are coming and going. So many times the sun, the earth, and the solar systems disappear and again spring up. We are in the midst of such thought in eternity. This nuclear war is a tiny point. What of that? Individuals are dying at every moment. The earth will die. The whole human section will disappear. Let it be. We must try to live in eternity, not any particular span of time or space. We must prepare ourselves for our eternal benefit, not for any temporary remedy. The sun, the moon, and all the planets appear and vanish. They die and then again they are created. Within such an eternity, we have to live. Religion covers that aspect of our existence. We are told to view things from this standpoint, not only this body, but the human race, the animals, the trees, the entire earth, and even the sun will all vanish and again spring up. Creation, dissolution, creation, dissolution. It will continue forever in the domain of misconception. At the same time, there is another world which is eternal. We are requested to enter there, to make our home in that plane, which neither enters into the jaws of death, nor suffers any change. In the Bhagavad Gita 8th chapter, it is stated, Abrahma bhuvana loka punāvatino jana mamupetito kuntaya puna janma na vidyate. Meaning, even Lord Brahma, the creator himself, has to die. Up to Brahmaloka, the highest planet in the material world, the whole material energy undergoes such changes. But if we can cross the area of misunderstanding and enter the area of proper understanding, then there is no creation or dissolution. That is eternal, and we are children of that soil. Our bodies and minds are children of this soil, which comes and goes, which is created and then dies. We have to get out of this world of death. Zone of nectar. We are in such an area. What is to be done? Try to get out. Try your best to get out of this mortal area. The saints inform us, come home, dear friend, let us go home. Why are you suffering so much unnecessarily in a foreign land? The spiritual world is real. This material world is unreal, springing and vanishing, coming and going. It's a farce. From the world of farce, we must come to reality. Here in this material world, there will not only be one war, but wars after wars, wars after wars. But there is a zone of nectar, and we are actually children of that nectar that does not die. Shimbanta Vishve Amritasya Puja. Somehow we are misguided here, but really we are children of that soil, which is eternal, where there's no birth or death. With a wide and broad heart, we have to approach there. This is declared by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, and the Srimad Bhagavatam all confirm the same thing. That is our very sweet, sweet home. And we must try our best to go back to God, back to home, and take others with us. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Bhakti Rakak Śrīdhar Dev-Goswāmī Maharaj ki Jai. Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswāmī Maharaj ki Jai. So well done, everyone. We had two quite, longish chapters, but really, it's like we're actually, we've got a touch of that eternal flow there that's capturing and captivating and wonderful. So we're so happy to be with you all, to share this wonderful divine flow. And remember, Guru Maharaj didn't sit down and write this. He just spoke it. He's just speaking. This is his divinely beautiful, wondrous personality. So, okay, so we're sort of at the same time. That worked well. Have we got comments or questions? Anything? Anyone? No?
Not on the Zoom, but do we have a...
Yeah, just a little bit of clarification. So I
Just a
think
sec.
a little clarification. I mean, we know there's four things that we need to avoid in order to be on this path. And I want to understand, next to gambling, it's written diplomacy. So for these things should be rejected, gambling or diplomacy. Can you tell me what you mean by diplomacy?
Yeah, well, yes, because gambling,
We know gambling.
yes, but that's a very kind of, we think of gambling as betting on horses or football or something like that, but it's actually a much broader thing. Otherwise, it'd be quite easy if you're not down the bookies or on the app, then for most of us, it's, you say, well, I'll never gamble. But actually, we do it all the time with our interactions with the environment. We're calculating the odds of everything we do, right? If I invest that there, I don't mean money, I mean energy or anything else, then what my return is going to be. And we try and, that word diplomacy means that it's cleverness, how calculation, Guru Maharaj calls it, and it's the cause of all that trouble. And he says, and your calculation is cancelled by the infinite. Right? Because how can you calculate? For a start, we've got imperfect senses. Yeah, they're all listed. We can only see a limited band of light. We can't see reality. We can see a limited band that our eyes are capable of. We can't hear what the dog can hear. We get it wrong. We make mistakes. We cheat a bit. So that's our data that's coming in. And then that raw data, which is corrupt to begin with and incomplete, then our brain gets a hold of it. Anyway, less said the better than our minds, and they start going with it, all in the pursuit of rasa. I'm looking for the juice, and I'm calculating how I can get what I think I want from all this corrupt data. And so we're calculating, and then so it's that whole area of the Guru Maharaj. It's become condensed into into gambling, but that's what it is. It's trying to get ahead, you know, by where I will invest and what I will get back from that kind of attitude.
I see what you mean. But for me, the things I calculate is I want to go to places where I can do more kirtan.
Hare
So
Krishna.
there's a different type of
So then Srila Prabhupada always used to use the word dovetail, right? And that's a great word, you know. Then we can do, and we say that, you know, we can be, because we have, you know, we're born to be active, to do things. So, you know, we've got a nose. It's there for a purpose. It's there to smell the, you know, the fragrance. When we go to Govindaji temple in Jaipur, and then we're going on after the arti, we go on the parikrama of the deities, and at various points there's devotees, and they've got some nectar, and they've got a handful of tulsi leaves, and they're handing the tulsi leaves out, or they've got a big wodge of cotton wool that has been soaked in the fragrant oils that have been offered to Radha Govinda, and you're trying to get some, you know, and then you get a little piece of that cotton wool, and the fragrance. I mean, you realize this is the perfection of nasal capacity of fragrance. You know, this is what that's for. Why is the nose here? So we can smell that. So it's like dovetailing. So yeah, so we want to, we have a calculating propensity. So that's absolutely right. So where can I be of the most service? Where will the kirtan be happening? That's so perfect.
And then it also mentions transaction of gold. So does that mean basically overindulging in, you know, material? And
yes, that's like the fifth one, is that because everything else rests in money, right? If you've got no money, you can't go drinking, you can't go, you know, gambling, you can't go eating meat, you can't do anything because you haven't got any money. So all those other things kind of live in gold, and the transactions of gold, you know, can, you know, making money, and that can have a potency all their own. So that's been sort of given us the thing.
if you make money in the right means, and you have a higher sense that you don't indulge in those things, then the actual making of money that's not inherently wrong then.
Everything is Krishna consciousness. That's the thing. So, you know, so yeah, this Lakshmi Devi, she's an energy of the Lord, and utilized by a devotee can use that energy in so many wonderful ways. So much money came to Srila Prabhupada, so much money came to our masters, but because they're 100% offering that to their gurus and for the service of the Lord, then that's the purpose of money, actually. You know, can manifest wonderful things. Hare Krishna.
We've got one more question from Seva Rupa Didi. She says, please share how we can balance our duties with seeing the environment as favorable, humbleness, tolerance, and giving honor to others. A practical real life example would be gardening can be a vicious act in service, like debugging Tulasi Devi.
Hare Krishna.
Similarly, Srila Guru Maharaj gives an example of, you know, we're not to sort of passively accept a dog coming into the temple, right? It's sort of like finding a balance between finding what is real humility in the context of situation where we have to stand up to something and yeah, take the temple,
Right.
or the Vaishnava, or
Right.
something.
Yes, well, yes. So we have to, you know, we have to be thoughtful and prayerful as we go on with our duties, and we want to have the blessings, the sanction, the approval of our masters. And we can't avoid it. You can't breathe or drink water without living entities being consumed. It's just impossible. When we build a temple, inevitably all the vegetation has to be cut down. I mean, Gurudev was very aware of all these things, and we see in India sometimes trees growing through the sides of buildings and through the roofs because they don't want to cut the tree, which is beautiful. But still, inevitably, we can't avoid those things. But Krishna says, Savadama Pari, don't worry. If you're thinking of me, if you're under the shelter of my devotees, then you have nothing to worry about. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy and be conscious. We need to be conscious before we Krishna conscious. You could say, be awake, be thoughtful, be kind, and all these things. And we accept we will make mistakes and we will do wrong things, but we can be corrected if we have our eyes open and our own self analysis. And, we hope that we'll get correction from outside as well, from above and from our well-wishers. That's what we want, actually. We want to be adjusted. I know that as I am is not as it should be. And looking after, I don't know how it is in South Africa, but I know, having looked after Tulsi in different places, especially in Sweet Lake City, I had an apartment full of Tulsi at one point, and it's a constant, you're constantly thinking, trying to look after her, and you've got all these, you'd be calling Krishna Priya Didi, the great expert Tulsi servitor in SoCal and others, and they would have advices, or you can try this, or you can do that. And, that service has all its own wonderful challenges, we can say. But as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, in the Lord's service, whether it's going easily, it's going difficultly, it's all good, and it destroys ignorance because you're trying to please Sri Guru and Vaishnava, you're trying to please the Lord. So, we'll go on and do our best. Hare Krishna. Okay, thanks for staying with us, everyone. 2 hours for it, Mama. But it passed very happily and sweetly by the grace of our masters. So, Jai Om Vishnu Padshila Bhakti Rakak Śrīdhar Dev-Goswāmī Maharaj ki Jai. Yati Rajeshwara ki Jai. Jai Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswāmī Maharaj ki Jai. The search for Sri Krishna reality, the beautiful ki Jai. Śrīla Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai. And all the devotees here, there, and all around this world. Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitana Pavanebho Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Gurudev. And it's wonderful. Now I'm scrolling down. I can see everybody's smiling faces. How beautiful. So I'm doing the same thing as Maharaj. I'm trying to follow Maharaj. I'm not going to start saying names because then I'll miss somebody. But our affectionate obeisance and happiness at being with you today. So have a wonderful rest of your day in service to our divine masters. Jai Gaura Hari.
Hari.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
And a big thank you to Keshavananda Prabhu for such a beautiful reading today and sharing so much feeling and illuminations. Thank you to you all. Thank you to the translators for spending so much time on your Sundays to assist so that this can be available to more devotees and friends around the world. And And a reminder that tomorrow our usual class with Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhusudana Maharaj on Sri Upadeshamrita will be paused because of the Holy Disappearance Festival of our dear Vishnupada Srila Bhakti Sundar Śrīdhar Dev-Goswāmī Maharaj. So we'll continue our class with verse number 10 on Tuesday. So it gives us a little extra time to go over the verses, but also to do some extra service for our master and his remembrance. Jai to all the Vaishnavas present. Shri Harinam Sankirtan.
Jai.
Jai.
Oh, Premanande!
Siddhanta ki jai. Tagore Premanande. Hari. Amra Ashta. Smaraj says. Yay.